Hey there, friendlies. How's up? Welcome to the 26th of November episode of the Beer Blades and Bushcraft live stream. I got me some beer, got me some blades, and today we're going to talk about trees. Got some books, folks. I want to discuss trees. I don't want it to be a sermon for me. I want it to be a real discussion. So fill up the comments section with all your opinions. I want to know your favorite trees. I want to know what you use for what in terms of fire lay. I want to know how good you are at tree ID. Are you good at tree ID when the leaves are out, but kind of crap in the winter? Anything about trees. Salut Simon, welcome to the live stream. You're a core member of the team, and you bring constructive stuff to the conversation. Trees, and trees. Martin, nice to see you. In fact, I think I just saw your name in the sidebar on Dennis's live stream. So you're fast, man, getting from there over to here. Hi, Tyler. Ready to talk about trees? The beer I have tonight is going to be interesting to talk about. Absolutely, Simon. I'm all about praising Simon. All about praising Simon. For those, kind of an inside joke, I was being a bit of a jerk on Signal to the boys earlier. Sort of blowing smoke up their butts about how integral they all were to the live stream. And how, because Outdoor Dauber said he's a little tired, he may not be able to make it. And I was like, no! Oh, you just caught the end of it, Martin? Okay. All right, that's fine. I missed the vast majority of it too. Camille's karate class and then homeworky stuff. I was just getting ready to do mine. I thought, wait a minute, Dennis is on. It was at around 8:30. So I went in, and that's when he asked me to come on because they were talking about kids. Because, guys, he had the Bushcraft daughter on tonight. She's a 14-year-old. Well, one of my episodes, I did a shout out to her channel. So, of course, you've all gone and seen it, right? So, yeah, I wanted to do trees. What I want to do, what I was talking about at during the really impromptu live stream yesterday is that when Mark sent me his long critique of my live streams, sort of between the lines, I think he was hinting that I should have a subject and talk about it. That sometimes the free form is probably why, like, I'll have 9 viewers and then sort of 6 and then 4 and then back up to 6 as people come on, and I'm just trying to bring up the presentation a little bit. And the reason I want to talk about trees is because I've been working on my tree ID for a few years, but in a really passive sense, what I'd like to do one of these years is just take a weekend course, like take a series of weekend courses whenever I've got like an extra, whatever they cost, one on like real solid tree ID or plant ID, like for edibles. Because I can recognize a few plants and a few trees, but not enough to walk into the, people who are real good with plant ID, like edibles, can walk into the forest and this is my pantry. I won't eat a damn thing I see growing in the forest because I'm not sure enough of anything. I'm in a province full of wild garlic. Granted, you're not allowed to pick the wild garlic in Quebec, but the province is full of this stuff, and I'm not sure enough. I may be looking at wild garlic and sure that it's wild garlic, but I'm still not gonna harvest it because I don't know if there's anything that looks identical or close enough to wild garlic to confuse me and then put me, in bed for a week kind of thing, There I went saying, again. Gotta stop that. Serge, welcome to the stream. It's nice to see that you're here, even though you're flying solo, but with kids tonight. We're talking about trees, Serge. You and I have a lot of experience with putting trees on our fire, chopping them up, throwing them in. So Jake Levesque, how's it going? Ah, Martin, good to know. Martin says there are plants similar to wild leeks and garlic, and they are among our most concentrated poisons. Oh, but there's an easy way to distinguish them. What, if I take a bite and die, then that's the wrong plant? Of course, show that. Come on, YouTube. I will check out that video. In fact, what I will do is Pine Martin. Pine Martin. What was it called? Wild edibles? No. Wild edibles of early spring. Sorry, guys. I'm just going to do this so that I bring it up. Wild edible plants of early spring, Pine Martin, 7 years ago. Okay. In fact, what I shall now do is... Oh, you won't let me share unless I click on the video? Come on, YouTubeage. Can't show history. I know. Oh, bloody sin. Hold on. The Windows. Pasta. Boom. Okay, there's a wild edibles video, guys. Hold on. Been watching about you and cleaning up at the same time. You know, Serge, here's the thing about every day I clean the house. The kids come home and wreck the house. The wife wonders what I've been doing all day. You know? Tyler says he feels like the plant ID you've been practicing by growing some wild edible varieties. Nice. Nick is here. Hey there, Nick. Logging on soon. Like, good. No odor. Okay. Wild leeks and garlics have an unmistakable smell. Yeah, of garlic. Poisonous do not have any. Okay, that's good to know. Jake, I have never been to Algonquin Park because it is an epic long-ass drive from here. I've been to the Boreal here in the province of Quebec, up at the Saguenay. And I will absolutely say, without a doubt, that in all the kinds of territory I've been in so far, the Boreal Forest is my favorite area. It's the smell that, man, I walk into the Boreal and I come out like animist. Okay, I go all mystical about the woods. It's so bloody magical. But I haven't been to Algonquin. I'm hoping that this year, this spring, I should be doing a short weekend in Ontario with someone that I know through YouTube. Not in Algonquin, but it'll be my first time actually camping in Ontario. I've camped in a lot of British Columbia, which is epic countryside, epic landscape, just gorgeous. That entire bloody province is gorgeous. My dad lives in a pocket desert, and it's beautiful. You know, I grew up kicking up and down the Sunshine Coast and into the rainforest on the gorgeous, man. BC, man, they got it. You know, but I don't think Algonquin is far enough north to be Boreal. Now that I'm sort of clicking back, it's just Algonquin is kind of like this mecca for a lot of campers, and and to me, I always sort of, for me, the mecca is Boreal, so I kind of conflate them all the time, and I don't. Martin, you've been there. I'm wrong, right? That's not a Boreal. Whoa, I got to catch up on no odor, wild leeks. Film this when you're biting it. No, I will not film that. Oh, by the way, would I overnight with a subscriber? If the subscriber was a big camper, sure. If he wants to deal with my sleep apnea, Simone is practicing something named gardening, similar to foraging, but when you plant little plants that grow for weeks and sometimes months. We have a garden. Pine Martin. Algonquin isn't Boreal. Boom. It's close, but it's a mixed forest of hardwoods and softwoods, closer to Carolingian forest. Okay. Yeah, around Montreal, it's mixed forest as well. It's one of the four forest zones of Quebec. Jake, you would love to camp in BC. Yes, you would. You've been to Banff. Yeah. Same deal, man. Around Banff, spectacular. Almost every year, my band does a festival gig in Alberta around Lake Abraham. There's a campsite slash resort there, and we play there. And I mean, I'm a real geek about the geology of mountains. You know, when you look at a mountain, you see all the striations and everything. Oh, anyway. So Martin says it's not absolutely Carolinian, but similar. Serge, been calling spruce trees pine trees, and probably a lot of people call everything that's evergreen a pine. And I mean, at one point I didn't know either. You know, a lot of people just think. Okay, for those of you who have not been to Montreal, a couple of years ago we got a new flag. You know what? I'm going to see if I can find this while I'm chatting with you guys, okay? Montreal flag. Boom. Okay. I'm going to bring up this Wikipedia page because I want to talk to you about the tree on this flag. Okay? So, a few years ago, we got a new flag, which is almost exactly the same as the old flag, except for something in the middle. Everyone go and take a look for like 10 seconds. I'll give you 10 seconds. Okay. Now, what would you guys say that tree in the middle of that flag is? I would call it like maybe a... I don't know. But that is supposed to be a white pine. That's not the shape of a pine tree. That looks more like it's a blue spruce. You know, which would not be the symbol of the Iroquois people. That would be more the Huron, right? Yeah, given the color, you'd say tamarack. I know. But it's just like, obviously that designer is one of those who thinks that everything evergreen is a pine tree. Conical? Except, no. Well, I've got a bunch of tree ID books sitting right here because I want to talk about tree ID at some point. If I was to look up, you know, a white pine, would it be conical? Come on, fools. But anyways, so yeah, sales look, almost very, very few people can tell the difference, you know? So it's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's not the kind of knowledge that it's kind of what I would call second tier knowledge. You know, like first tier knowledge is everyone knows what a bus looks like. So if they're rushing down the street and they need to get somewhere, okay, there's a bus, there's a taxi, you know, this is what a newspaper is. This is what TV looks like. This is what, I don't know, Shannon's, I don't know, you know, the basic stuff. And then there's what I call sort of second tier knowledge, which is a little more on the geeky side, a little more, you know, like knowing what a pine looks like versus a spruce or a tamarack, in fact, you know, because not like tree ID is not a common sense thing. Very few people don't know a birch when they see it, but that doesn't mean that they know their tree ID. Hold on. The net does have poor information for trees. The net has poor information about everything. And if we could get a handle on that, I think the world would be a better place. Uh-oh. Simone, what are you showing? What's crosscutsaw.com? Ooh. You should not have shown me this site, mister. Look at that crosscut saw. Oh, this is not good. Simone, God, why did you do this? Oh, they're not nearly as expensive. Oh, wait, these are American prices, eh? How's that for a Canadian experience? Getting excited about the price and then realizing, oh, wait, that's American dollars. Oh, I would love one of those two-man cross. Okay, I'm going to get back to the live stream. So yeah, I was just saying, Serge, not knowing for a long time. Most people don't. It's second tier knowledge. Um, but like I would like to improve my tree ID in a massive way. In a massive way, like because I know the ones that I know, and it's easy to just slip into. For instance, I like the balsam fir for all of the usual reasons: the smell, the little blisters, and I know what a balsam fir is by just glancing at the trunk. Um, I know what a white pine is. I know what a ponderosa pine is. Magical, by the way. But like I don't have a big tree ID skill in my head. I don't. My tree foo is not that strong. I would love to change that. Oh, they're made in New York State. It's good to know. Um, but it's one of those things where I sort of say, I'd like to improve on that one day, and then one day just never comes. I just want to make sure that I'm not getting late on the. I know the sugar maple is, yep, and a white birch, yeah. Those are sort of common knowledge. Those are like the most first tier of second tier knowledge. Langland sound on years and then. Oh, thanks, Jake. You've been going to Algonquin for 20 years. Portaging and paddling is your thing. I am going to be improving my portaging and paddling very, very soon. I've made that a goal. I have a 2-stage goal. I don't know how many of my live streams you've been watching, but my midterm goal is to get me to reward myself with a nice Swift canoe. My short-term goal is that I have the wife's permission to get an interim canoe that the family can paddle around in. As I said in my canoeing video this summer, I haven't been in a canoe. I hadn't been in a canoe since I was in the Air Cadets, so that's a long time ago. And like my J stroke is off. I was paddling like a straight beginner in that video. But man, isn't the canoe like the ultimate Canadiana item? Shouldn't we all just grow up knowing how to canoe? Isn't the story of this country told in the lines of those voyageur canoes? I feel that as a Canadian, I should be maybe not an expert canoeist because it's getting really late in my life to become an expert at anything that I'm not already. But I should be able to really get myself around one. Especially because so many people step into one and immediately spill themselves into the drink, right? But yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool. I would. I want to go camping around the Algonquin Park area. Maybe not the park itself because I keep hearing, sorry guys, that the park is pretty crowded and even finding wood is becoming a bit of an issue. Should we do this? Who's got beer tonight? While I'm waiting for you guys to say who's got whatever you're drinking, I'll just make sure I'm not missing out on any of the discussion. Serge's interest in woodworking has helped in his tree vocabulary. That is an excellent point. Yeah, that's an excellent point. Pine Martin loves the balsam fir. Yeah, absolutely. I have a few favorite trees. The balsam fir is absolutely one of them. The cedar, I just that's partly because of like the smell of it and then the look of it, and just sort of takes me back to British Columbia, And I love the white birch. Big dark forest, one ghost standing there. Big dark forest, 3 ghosts standing there. It's an amazing looking tree. And there's the thing. My favorite trees, actually, let's talk about this, guys. Hold on. Because Pine Martin says he's loved the balsam since he started learning bow drill fire starting. I am imagining that the balsam is a magic tree for that. Jake says, you recently got into winter hut tenting. I can't wait to get into that. I just don't have the money for a tent. We should do an overnighter since we're so close to each other. Oh, we're only about an hour and a half from each other? Interesting. Do you have a channel, Jake? Simone likes the larch. Okay. Poplar is the softest of the hardwoods, while larch is the hardest of the softwoods. Yeah, I'm not sure if I like poplar that much. But that's has more to do with the living tree than the woodworking aspect. Your uncle started you into the paddling and portaging after your dad passed when you were 12. Oh, okay. Yeah, but you've been doing it for a while. Oh, you're drinking a Whitewater Brewery peanut butter stout? Peanut butter stout. I love me some stout, but I've never had a peanut butter stout. Serge is not having beer, but he's going to step away and get some whiskey. Good man. Jake, it sounds to me like you have a channel. If you started a channel, it's the kind of thing I would watch all the time. Simone doesn't like poplar either, but larch is his thing. So here's what I'm drinking tonight. My wife brought this back for me from a recent trip. On the North Shore, there's this place called the Centre d'Interprétation de la Courge. So that would be the Squash Interpretation Center. Essentially, it's a squash patch with like an information center. And so she brought this back for me. La 31 it's a vignoble. Whatever the hell a vignoble is. I don't believe it. I have no idea the word. I've completely blanked on it. Not a winery, but an orchard for grapes. You know, a field of grapes. I don't like. Anyways, you know those things where they grow grapes, and a microbrewery. And so this is their bière potiron, which is kind of a hoity-toity word for pumpkin. So it's a pumpkin beer, 660 ml, and it is 6% alcohol. So it's pretty damn close to your standard Canadian beer. It's 1% more. Drink it at 8 degrees Celsius. Don't know what that is in freedom. So I'm going to give it a try. Pumpkin beer, eh? Little newfangled. If Outdoor Dauber was here, I'd get all purple prosy about it. But he ain't here. Vineyard, thank you. Yes. Oh. For someone who spends as much time in the Okanagan as I do, that was bloody embarrassing. Boom, baby. Right into the glass. Because I'm just that good. Let's see if I can pour this without making it all head. I'll make Serge proud on this one. Gonna make you proud on this pour, Serge. I'm gonna do it right. Looky there. Looky there. Now watch it not be my skill. Watch the beer just be flat or something, right? There we goes. All right. Ready? Oh, wow. Okay. That is good. Serge is cheersing me with his whiskey. What are you drinking, Serge? Jake, oh, you have a 1-year-old and you started to work weekends only, so you can be home with him all week. So when he gets a little older, we will start a channel. You know how busy it can be with 1-year-old. I have one who's going to be 10 months old 11 months old in 2 days. And I have one who's 8 years old. Well, if you watch a lot of my channel, then you've met my older daughter. But the 11-month-old is. I'm a very busy person right now. But yeah, magical, eh? 1-year-old, magical. Zach Fudge, Newfoundland witch hazel or a balsam fir. Okay, excellent choices. You've mentioned the Newfoundland witch hazel before. Vineyard. Yes, okay, I was an idiot. Sorry, guys. Jake, I will not show that message of yours because YouTube is holding it, but I will take note of your email address because I'm figuring you don't want everyone to have it. Here's the part where Jake says, "No, show it." I wonder how the Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey Whiskey. Okay, now, Zach, well, you got to be hating. Did you guys see that? Zach, I guess hell froze over if Jess poured a beer right. You guys remember that video where I was with Serge and his brother Alain, and I poured a beer for him that was like this much beer and this much head. Was that the video, Serge? Was that the one where I did that? Oh no, Simon, I needed to see that message before you. It's okay, I can view it. Okay, we're good. Jake Levet. Jake, everyone here has my email address already, so I'm just going to put it here now. Because, I'm a public personage. Personage? What? That's not the word, is it? Nicely done on the pour. Your cup was almost empty. Yeah. I remember that. That was my worst pour, wasn't it, Serge? That was like the worst one I've done. Yeah, I'm surprised by how much I like that because I don't really like beer with a lot of flavors in it. Like, here's an apricot beer. Here's a wild cherry beer. Here's a beer with, I don't know, orchid and fried green tomatoes. I like beer to be beer flavored. I sort of throw it. I wonder if it's like a chocolate scout. I was going to say what chocolate stout or an espresso stout or something like that. Because I find that the big body of a porter or a stout can really handle a little flavor in it, whereas a lighter beer just gets a little too twiggy, a little too twee, I guess. But this is pretty good. Jake, do you have would you just be shooting on your cell phone to start with? Do you have a phone with a good camera? Because guys, I've been thinking if I get that iPhone 11 Pro, I don't ever need a camera because both the cameras on that are 4K. Yeah, it sounds like it, Jake. Drop me a line and we'll chat about stuff. Maybe meet up for a coffee or a beer at some point to discuss. Zach, you got a new phone. Galaxy S10. If what I read is correct, that's a really nice phone. I'm really stuck in the iPhone ecology at this point, so I can't really copy on my phone, paste on my computer, and all. So I'm not going to be leaving the iPhone fold, but I'm pissed off at Apple about how they've since the 10 they've been pricing their phones as aspirational purchases. I'm like, no way. It's a phone. For many people, a cell phone is a basic necessity now. So don't have a very affordable one and then price another one the way out of the market, Well, Simo, the new cheap iPhone is the 11, right? Not the 11 Pro. What they did is they changed the marketing because they would always bring out here's the 10s, which is our phone, and then here's the 10R, which is our cheap phone. But what they did for the Pro with 11 was kind of a brilliant marketing thing. They've changed it to here's our phone and then here's our Pro phone. So the 11 straight up is their actually, except that I've heard rumors that they're planning to bring out a smaller phone, like something more of this size. That would be pretty cool. But anyways, we're not here to talk about phones. We're here to talk about trees. I may try to get on again later, but I got to cut it short right now for a small family event. Okay, so I will see you guys hopefully a little later. If not, then maybe next week.
Sorry.
See you guys.